I probably was, but you probably forgot. My white label had to go white label shit when he's trying to me, give me
diss track dropped at the hip-hop. The pushback is real. People are There is definitely like Diddy and Suge Knight operated for decades before this of a mixed bag, mostly indifferent, not as emotionally invested. Silence when speaking up could have made a real difference. Gen Z is far less willing made. They're asking what you actually do with your position. They want consistent seats. They want actions to match the branding. So, when Jay-Z steps on stage and delivers a freestyle like this, older...
Welcome to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Today we're going to talk about Jay-Z. HOV is a celebrated figure in many circles, and he's I can't stand that dude in certain circles. And there's nothing wrong with that. People are going to have opinions about you. But I looked at that picture right there you see on your screen, and he looks like a man who knew his time had come to end his career, but he got on stage one more time. The way he childlike has his hands to his face in a fist, that's because he's celebrating being back on the stage and hearing the crowd cheer for him. It's addictive. There's a lot of things in life that's addictive. But that one picture right there you see on your screen says it all. Uh, Kendrick Lamar, I'm not going to talk too much about Kendrick. He's an up and coming star. Kendrick is going to be around for at least another 20 years, 30 years. But Jay-Z picked him, and before him, he picked Pusha T to be his replacement. What do replacement look like? Some of y'all are going to see it. Replacement is when the corporation has been making Jay-Z a puppet for so long that now that he's at the end of his journey as far as music go, he might jump into something else like real estate or, selling yachts. The man's a billionaire. So, but he's not the one we picked. If everybody could have picked the king of hip hop, it would have been Nas. I'm sorry, not sorry, but y'all need to understand this, especially you 25-year-olds that have always looked up to Jay-Z as the king of hip hop. He was not that guy. Jay-Z is what you call a survivor, and I'm going to explain that in a second. But let's get into the
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Let me explain to you the timeline, so you can really understand where I'm coming from when I say Jay-Z is a survivor. And I think my audio cut out earlier, but let me explain it to you. And like I said, I don't want to take nothing from the man's career, but he's a survivor. When Jay-Z first started, Nas didn't want to mess with him because he used to wear those flowery shirts, the Hawaiian shirts, and he looked like a prep kid. Nas was really in the streets. Not saying Jay-Z wasn't in the streets at one time, but you always got kids in the projects that shouldn't be there. And I think Jay-Z was one of them kids in the Marcy projects. He shouldn't have been there. With the intelligence he has and the moves he's made over the years, he shows a sense of intelligence that should have been spotted by the teachers and taken him out of there. People spotted it later on when he got into the industry, which why the industry people made him the king of hip-hop. We didn't make him the king of hip-hop, you know, especially us 40, 50-year-olds who've been around since his beginning. So for you 25-year-olds that don't really understand what's going on, I'm going to explain it to you. Jay-Z got put on by somebody else besides Nas. Nas was one of the hottest rappers in New York at the time. You had Biggie Smalls, you had Tupac. Both of those men were like, that was it. You know, if it wasn't Biggie or Tupac making music, I mean, people listen to other music like Nas, but the main headliners of everything was Tupac and Biggie. Jay-Z was just not even a factor. So he survived that. Then right when Tupac and Biggie died, DMX popped up on the scene, barking like a dog and riding motorcycles. He captured the hearts of America when it comes to black rap. Jay-Z was still around, but he was a non-factor. I'm not saying he wasn't putting out no music, but who cared? Jay-Z was like the rapper's rapper. Jay-Z ain't never been the type of dude that'll get a bitch up out her seat and make her hit the dance floor and go crazy. He ain't never been that guy. And let me give you an example of what I mean. Juvenile. Bump, 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 went the bump to the back. When bitches hear that shit right there, females, old, young, in between, crippled, if they in a club or a place where they can shake their ass, they gonna jump up and hit that dance floor and put their ass in the air. Juvenile had it. Drake had it. Has it. BG sometimes. T.I. Lil Jon got it. It's certain entertainers, rappers, who have the ability to make you lose your mind when it comes to this music. Jay-Z ain't never been that type of dude. He was excellent in putting his words together, which makes him a rapper's rapper. So whenever you see some dude always trying to rap, he likes Jay-Z. You know, because Jay-Z puts his words together and manipulates the words, and it makes them dudes, you know, lose their mind because they're rappers. But they make like 5% of the population. We didn't pick Jay-Z to be the king of hip-hop. The people in the industry did. And this is the reason why, and it should shame a lot of us as black people. They picked Jay-Z because he had the ability to put on some decent clothes and present himself. Put on that $1,000 suit and go in there and sit with the corporate execs instead of walking in there with your pants sagging. They picked him. Most street rappers, they'll throw on some jeans, some Timberland boots, pants sagging a little bit. They might even have a pistol on him. Jay-Z might come in the meeting with a bodyguard, a $1,000 suit, $200-300 shoes, and a $150-200 cologne. Maybe more expensive than that. He was the pick by the corporate people to be the king of hip-hop because they didn't want to deal with some random dude who might be violent walking in there trying to make a deal with them. So they set Jay-Z up as the go-between, the gatekeeper. We always talk about the gatekeepers, but a lot of people really don't know what that really entails. People don't really understand what that really means. These people are really gatekeepers for society. I don't like it. Because see, we are a product of society. You shouldn't put no gatekeepers up to deal with us. We your product. You deal with us. Because if you see what you made, you might change the shit that's going on. Don't set no puppet in front of me, pulling his strings, telling me what to do. You deal with me. That way you can see my anger and my pain and my living conditions. How I'm poor down here. While you sit up there in that office on 54th Street in a $1,000 suit. And then you send this clown Jay-Z to come talk to me about a deal. Fuck you. You come down here and see these rats and roaches down here. And it's not about white and black no more. Because you got high-powered black executives too. So don't get it twisted. I'm not sitting here talking about white and black. The suits, the people in suits put Jay-Z in power. Now let me tell you what's happening. At the end of the line, Jay-Z wants to pick his successor. He needs to understand hip-hop is not going to let that happen. Because as the years go by, more and more of us black men and women, I still think black women is being used against us, but some of them is waking up too. A lot of us have woken up to the fact of these gatekeepers. And they telling you to be careful. Because we'll rip that crown, that fake crown these people gave you off your head and stomp you out. In more ways than just violence. I want y'all to process that. Because Jay-Z is a survivor. He outlived his competition. Men and women who were way better than him. Like, I'm talking about could get on the stage and make people lose their mind. Jay-Z ain't never been that guy. Not to the population. Maybe to the hard-head rappers. Man, you heard them lyrics, Jay-Z? Man, Jay put some shit together the other day, man. It blew my mind. I don't care nothing about that. Can Jay-Z make a bitch put her champagne glass down and jump up and holler? Hell no. He ain't never been that guy to the population. That's another reason why the whole Beyonce marriage happened. You can look at them and tell they mismatched. That's why that whole Beyonce thing popped off. They had to give him an image to where he was relatable to more than just knucklehead rappers. So once the merger happened between Beyonce and Jay-Z, now all of a sudden a few more people is accepting him as the king of hip hop. But some of us be looking at this dude like, man, stop it. You a survivor, bruh. You a survivor at the end of your rope. You've been a puppet for the puppet masters for years, and now you trying to pick your successor. Listen carefully. Jay-Z is trying to pick his successor, and he don't want it to be Drake. And it's not because Drake is Canadian. Drake people from Memphis. It's not that. The reason he don't want to pick Drake is because he know if he pick up a phone call because he sees something on TV at 3 o'clock in the morning, Drake might not even answer. Drake might be in some pussy. Like, man, what the fuck Jay-Z want? I'll talk to him later. Kendrick Lamar, man, stop it. Jay-Z called Kendrick Lamar up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He gonna hurry up and answer that phone. He might be in his bitch, fucking her. He gonna stop everything he doing to pick up that phone for Jay and be like, hold on. It's Jay-Z. Drake ain't finna do that. And that's what Jay-Z wants. He wants to be able to still have an influence on hip-hop from the shadows. He don't want to go out like Big Daddy Kane, MC Lyte, Queen Latifah. The list goes on and on. He don't want to go out like them. These rappers retired and they sat back in their older age and just watched. He don't want to do that. They still do their interviews every now and then. Every now and then you'll see MC Lyte pop up on the scene talking about the 80s. Every now and then you'll see Big Daddy Kane or, one of the rappers that we used to know back in the early 90s. Every now and then you'll see Scarface, his old ass looking like a Down syndrome patient. You might see him pop up and do an interview. Love this music. But they sat back and just enjoyed hip-hop. And sometimes they'll do their commentary on it. Jay-Z don't want to do that. He want to still have some type of influence over these people after he retires. And this is my message to you, Jay, because I know millionaires and billionaires, they have people who scrub the internet for things about them. That's why I put his picture up here like this, because I wanted him to get this message. Somebody might show it to him, be like, man, what you want us to do about this? You want us to contact dude, tell him take that down? Hopefully he'll listen to all of this all the way out, because I'm not shitting on your career. You a survivor, bro. Put the torch on the table, walk away, and sit down and get you some popcorn and watch these motherfuckers fight over it. Because if you do that, Jay, you're going to see 10 years of some of the best hip-hop you ever seen in your life. The reason why, because some of the best hip-hop tracks are diss songs. You're going to have people like, oh, Jay-Z left the throne. You're going to have people like 50 Cent coming back out. You're going to have people like Rick Ross coming back out. Because right now, he just playing. Lil Wayne, he's riding his skateboard somewhere looking old man on a skateboard. He gonna pop back out. You gonna start seeing some of the craziest rap battles. People are gonna be at each other's throat for the throne. And all you got to do is enjoy your billions of dollars, sit back and look at this shit and laugh, like that little laugh you do. That's all you got to do. You trying to still have an influence But hip-hop is not gonna let you. I done seen the pattern. They know you was a gatekeeper for the industry. They know your life was some bullshit. The real rappers that's in the industry know. They play along with it because they don't want to get the industry people upset because they might not get more record deals. So they play along with it. But they already know Nas was better than you. You a survivor, dude. Let me finish up the timeline. Let me wet my whistle. Let me give y'all the timeline of Jay-Z. Okay, from the beginning. Because some of y'all forget what I be saying on here, man. I lived through this. I seen when Master P was in the club music, they played his song. People went crazy. No Jay-Z. I saw when Tupac song came on. People went crazy. No Jay-Z. I saw when DMX started barking and praying and riding motorcycles and ran red. This really the first time a lot of people got introduced to Bloods. And it didn't come from the West Coast. That was surprising. These East Coast Bloods, goddamn, they done got over here barking and shit like dogs. He captured the minds of people. Jay-Z, nowhere to be seen. Then DMX fell off, and guess who rose to the top next? 50 Cent and Eminem. Jay-Z was around, but shit, and nobody cared. Where he got his fame from was leeching off of other people's hit records. Let me explain what the leech is. Maybe I shouldn't use the word leech. He attached himself to hit records that were already hit records. Like some unknown artist who's a breakout star, he'll call their people and be like, yo, that shit hot, let me get on it. And next thing you know, he done hit the top of the billboards like he did that. I'm gonna give you an example. The female MA or paper planes that came from England. That was a nice song. I love that song. And here go Jay-Z jumping on that shit. It's been several artists. Rihanna. He'll just jump on that shit because he had the way to do it because the industry loved him. They put him as the king. But dude, you ain't no goddamn king, bruh. I know niggas in Memphis that rap better than you. Eat your motherfucking ass alive. But everybody played along with the shit because number one, you're married to one of the top R&B singers in history, Beyonce. That gives you a little protection because if people come at you and they still in the industry, she might snap her fingers and you can't get no more R&B singers to rap to sing with you. So that's number one. Number two, you got powerful execs that's in your corner. People don't want to get them mad, but you ain't never been that guy. Never been the guy to get a bitch up out her seat. Let me keep going down the timeline for some of you people. He survived Nas. He survived Biggie and Tupac. He survived DMX. And he kept putting out music that really nobody really even cared about except for the rappers. To be honest with you. You know, I got several cousins that are real rappers. Like they do their thing. They good. They might spit a bar or two from Jay-Z. But the rest of us that's not in the music industry, we don't give two shits about Jay-Z and his music. Unless he owns something like a Rihanna hit. You know. That's what he was known for, jumping on people's shit that was already hot. Rihanna didn't need Jay-Z on her shit. Rihanna was hot. And then he come popping up on her shit. It made him look. I was telling my cousin the other day, I said, man, you might have to get with a group for about a year or two and outshine them niggas. Because sometimes when groups of rappers get together, it makes the individual rappers look more important. Especially when you outshining them niggas. Like Jeezy. You know, them boys. You don't even know who them dudes is or where they at now. Nobody even cares. But Jeezy was a part of that little crew. He outshined them niggas, went ahead and got a bigger deal, and now them dudes probably either dead, in prison, or sitting on somebody's porch right now drinking a beer. Nobody even cares about them dudes. They made one hit record, and Jeezy outshined them niggas, and next thing you know, the snowman was born. And I tell people all the time, you know, especially when you're in the rap game, King Von was just another dusty ass kid in Chicago. But when he get on stage with about 50 people, it makes him look more important than what he is. There's 1,000 King Vons that you walk past every day in Chicago. Some of them might crack you across your head if you look wrong. Some of them might not. 1,000 of them standing on every other corner. And can rap better than King Von. Don't get it twisted. But when the rest of society see these young men, they see all the hype men around them. If you're a good rapper and don't have a lot of hype men around you, people really ain't gonna listen to you. And that's what I was trying to explain to my cousin. You are excellent. The dude is, I need to play one of his songs. The boy's bad. Eating niggas alive. My brother's bad. My other cousin bad. I mean, these dudes is really at their craft. They can't get on because they don't do all that clicking up shit. They don't do all that gang on the stage and 50 niggas on the stage. They get up there, hit the music, and give you a goddamn show by themselves. Our culture is not about that no more. Everything is about gang or some kind of organization. Even the real organizations are starting to act like gangs. I just got gang stalked by some goddamn Masons for 2 years. I ain't scared of them motherfuckers. They bleed like I bleed. They human beings like I'm a human being. I done been around them motherfuckers. But that's what our society has turned into. You can't move ahead in certain industries unless you with a clique or a gang, or unless you a female sucking somebody's dick that's important. That's crazy how this country set up. They don't give a fuck about no talent. They know how to manipulate them boards to make your sound better than what it is. Don't care nothing about no talent. It's about how much dick you can suck. How much street money you got. How many dudes you got around you. Oh, you got 5 dudes? Oh man, he ain't nothing. Oh, you got 100 dudes that's willing to get on stage with you? Oh yeah, pick him, give him the contract. That's how they picking these stars now. Look at that NBA YoungBoy guy. Garbage. Some of y'all gonna laugh when I say it. I sound like the comedian. Garbage. Stop it. But look at how many dudes he be having around. It make him look more important than what he is. You trash, nigga. I said it. You trash. I had to finally sit down and listen to a NBA YoungBoy song, man. And I'm looking around like, man, what the hell is this? Straight garbage. But these youngsters go crazy over him because he's showing them some type of younger generation mob boss mentality. You know, he got all these NBA this and NBA that, NBA dude over here, NBA dude over here, and NBA YoungBoy running all of it. I get it, man. But stop it. He ain't the only one do this shit. King Von did it. The other little boy did it that was with him. That's in prison now. They all do it. You see, back in the days, Big Daddy Kane get on stage by himself. Slick Rick get on stage by himself. All you gotta do is hit the music. They finna talk that shit. They didn't need no gang. Heavy D, he might have 3 dancers. And then if he didn't have no dancers, he'll put on the show himself. It's not about that no more. Because you got a lot of robbing and jacking going on. It's about safety. And I said it on one of my shows last week, we blacks don't have the same safety net that whites have. The blacks that do have a safety net are basically borrowing white people's safety net. They done slid up under them. That's why an old white man could pull up at one of the most dangerous stores in Chicago, gas up his Maserati, go inside, pay his money, and get back in his car and drive off and drive down Ocean Shore, Lakeshore Drive, and won't nobody touch him. Because that safety net is already ingrained in us as black people. But don't touch that white man. We don't have that. But Jay-Z ain't never been that guy. He's a survivor. And he needs to put that torch on the table and let these young Thundercats fight over it.
I have been cracking up for the past 2 days straight because the internet never misses. Y'all have been watching Jay-Z's every move, and Jay-Z genuinely thought he was winning the whole time. Meanwhile, you were just sitting online collecting all the information you needed to say what you said.
Even my mother knows Jay-Z was never that. Say it again, mommy. What you said?
But he was never the one.
Why he was never the one?
Well, I don't know. I know.
I told you. This is a Jamaican woman, and I think she in New York. She letting the world know Jay-Z never really was that guy. He just a goddamn survivor.
50 was the one. 50 Color Party, 50 was the one. Tupac there, Tupac was the one. Biggie was the one. You understand? Everybody's was one.
There is not a year where Jay-Z was indisputably the hottest or the best rapper in the game. Jay-Z came in the game in 1996. I think we can all agree that's Tupac's year. 1997, Biggie died. In 1998, which was kind of his breakout year, DMX had 2 #1 albums in that year. 1999, DMX again, who outsold Jay-Z by a big margin. Year 2000, Nelly and Eminem both went down. Now 2001 would have been the best argument, but then Ludacris came in the game with hits like Area Codes, Move, Roll Out. 2002, here go Eminem again, dropping the Eminem Show, another diamond album. As well as Nelly dropping another album that sold like 7 million. Jay-Z who? 2003 was obviously 50 Cent's year. He retired, came back in 2006. At that point, T.I. was on top of the game. 2007 undoubtedly goes to Kanye graduation year. Can't be serious. And 2008 to like 2011 clearly goes to Lil Wayne. So at what point was he the hottest rapper in the game?
The fallout is still going strong after
Exactly.
Jay-Z's 4-minute diss track.
Exactly. Everybody in the industry know that Jay-Z was the puppet master's pick to be the puppet. That's why people really never came at him. Because if they did, he had so much power that he can get their career shut down. But as far as music go, Jay-Z never was that guy. Straight trash. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that, man, because like I said, he's a rapper's rapper. He does know how to put his words together very smoothly and make it sound, you know, like damn, did he just say that? But he was never that guy. Never the guy to get a bitch up out her seat. Drake, stop playing. For 18 years, he been getting bitches up out their seat. Lil Wayne been doing it since he was 14. They sat back and respected who the industry put as the number one. But them people ain't got no real respect for that dude like that. They'll fuck with him because they want what the industry got to offer them. But now that Drake has surpassed you, he really don't give a fuck about you now, Jay-Z. Ain't no more ass kissing. None. And I think people are really missing out the point on that. That's why Jay-Z don't want Drake to be his successor as far as the king of hip-hop. Because number one, the people picked him. You thought y'all was doing something with that They Not Like Us song? Man, stop it. This man dropped 3 motherfucking albums and flooded the charts with nothing but his music. Nothing but his music. And beat Michael Jackson's record. You got to be joking. And I know some of you entertainers are really you see, I'm not really in the entertainment business like that. I do podcasting, but I'm a small podcaster. So I don't have to worry about somebody from the high executive officers trying to shut me down. They really don't give 2 shits. But somewhere in Nebraska, Southern California, Nevada, Connecticut, some young man might run across this podcast, or a young woman, and they need to understand you was never that guy. I'm gonna say it again. When Juvenile song come on, that's how you could tell if an entertainer, compared to that, that's how you could tell if an entertainer is worth their salt, is if you can compare it to Juvenile song, Back That Ass Up. If people hear your music and it don't make them move like that, you might need to go back to the drawing board. I mean, you could put it on your album, but that's not finna be the hottest track. I mean, I literally walked in the club one night, went over to the bar. My brother owned a club called Black Diamond. And I walked in, went over to the bar to get a drink, and all of a sudden I heard that bump, 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 and the butter there. Man, I'm talking about, it was at least 50 women in there just having casual conversation, talking, drinking. They went absolutely bonkers. Bonkers. Ran to the dance floor. Oh my God. Everybody in there was like, what this herd of buffalo doing up in here? God damn. It was crazy. I've never seen that happen with a Jay-Z song. Never. And I done been in and out of clubs. Never seen that happen with a Jay-Z song. Ever. Somebody might need to go back and check them numbers to see if he deserved all of them plaques and Grammys he got. And they didn't just give it to him. Somebody might need to go back and check them numbers. Because when you out here on the streets, you know who music is hot. And for the last 30 years, anybody that's been alive for the last 30 years, please tell me if I'm wrong or not. Get in the comments. Have you ever seen a Jay-Z song that'll make a bitch get out her body? I'll wait. And like I said, I ain't shitting on the man's career. He's a survivor. He deserves to go down in history right next to Big Daddy Kane, Queen Latifah, Nas. He needs to go down in history like them. Respectfully, because he done been on them stages. He done did the work. I get it. But stop trying to pick your successor. Hip-hop should be the one to pick the successor. You need to put that torch on the table. Tell all the motherfuckers, hey, y'all fight over this shit. And go sit down and have a seat and pop some popcorn and sit next to Big Daddy Kane and laugh about this shit. You know. Find MC Light. You know, senior citizen. go find MC Light and tell her, come over here and sit next to me, man. Let's talk, man. Let's eat this popcorn and watch this shit go down. Because you got some real talent out here that's gonna eventually stomp you out. Now we coming to the nitty gritty. We coming to the end of the show, but we coming to the nitty gritty. This is what's gonna happen if Jay-Z don't sit down. They're gonna try to tarnish him and his wife. Beyonce might have a video out there somewhere with the dick in her mouth. She might have that out there somewhere. Motherfuckers find that shit. They'll find it. They start rapping about you, and then next thing you know, another scandal done broke, and next thing you know, somebody done put a video out on the internet about her and her ass in the air somewhere in the backseat of a car. Stop playing, Jay. Enjoy your billions, bro. Stop playing out here. Go sail fishing. Sit back and watch this bullshit go down. See, I understand what's done happened. The industry told him probably to pick his successor. So that's what he been doing. But the industry picked him. So I think Jay should let the industry pick the new successor. Because, see, this is the thing about the new successor that takes over Jay-Z's spot as the king of hip-hop. If Jay-Z pick him, the industry won't suffer too much as far as payment. But if the industry go to somebody like Drake because Jay-Z refuses to pick the next successor, and they go to somebody like Drake gonna charge them. Because y'all tried to assassinate me and my character. Fuck you. Drake gonna charge them. Billions. But if Jay-Z picks somebody like Kendrick, he can manipulate Kendrick. Tell him, man, listen, man, don't go in there charging him a whole lot, man. You know, they got your back. They had my back for years. You know, take 50, 60 million. You know, they'll make sure your career's good. They make sure you're good. You know, that's the type of dude he wants to pick as his successor. Drake ain't finna listen to none of that. I want my money. If y'all want me to be the next king of hip hop, pay me. Pay me. That's what you do. Pay me. Lil Wayne, same way. You can't go to Lil Wayne and be like, man, we need somebody to take over Jay-Z's spot as the next king of hip hop. T.I. gonna be the same way. We need the new king of hip hop, man. Jay-Z retiring for good this time, and shit, T.I. gonna be like, man, pay me. Stop playing. That's why they doing this to Jay, trying to make him go out here and find somebody that can get along with them to be his successor. You know, it's not gonna work. Hip hop people have already seen you gatekeepers. They seen the Birdmans. What's the cat out there? Death Row. Suge Knight. They done seen all that puffies. They know the gatekeepers. They seen them. They tired of that shit. That's why any puppet that you pick to be the king, Drake ain't the only one gonna try to tear him down. It's gonna be so many people at your ass on that. It's gonna be crazy. And then an old head that know Jay-Z from back in the day, he came out and dissed him. Let me see if I can
Dropped
get
at
to
the
it.
Roots picnic. Fans and critics alike are going back and forth on the internet, trading blows as people start seriously questioning when exactly Jay-Z was ever the undisputed best male artist in hip-hop. The pushback is real. People are challenging whether he ever truly sat above everyone else who was coming out of the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
No about what Jay-Z talking about on that damn stage. Jay-Z ain't never been the top dude for real. He was the Triple H of the rap game. Look at Triple H's career in WWE and compare it to Jay-Z's career in rap. When Triple H came into the game, who was the top dudes? Brett and Diesel. When Diesel left, it was Brett and Shawn. By the time he came into his own with DX and the whole game thing, my time! Rock and Austin basically got the business fucking booming. Then everybody else came after him, from Brett and Eddie to Eddie and Benoit. Oops. To Cena and Orton, to Cena and Batista, to Punk and Cena, to Bryan and motherfucking Punk. Then Punk left and the Roman was coming into his own. Like Triple H ain't never been the top dude, just like Jay-Z.
This is a perfect analogy. Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. If you compare Jay-Z career with Triple H career, it's the same thing. That means the industry has what you call a pattern. The entertainment industry, because wrestling is entertainment. The entertainment industry has a pattern. They use these beautiful women as basically whore / call girls. They get a couple of kids by these men, and then they get control secretly from the inside. But both of their careers is the same. Triple H has always been a good wrestler, but he was never a Stone Cold. He was never a Shawn Michaels. He was never a Rock. These people that I named can go into a wrestling stadium and shut that bitch down. Especially Stone Cold, when he jump up on that ring with that beer, talking about 316, people go crazy. So this cat right here was never really that guy. But he married, and like I said, a lot of these high-powered people, the women are involved too. Jay-Z the same way. You had Tupac, Biggie. You had DMX. You had T.I. You had a lot of people that was way better than him. But he survived and wound up marrying. You know, some of this stuff be arranged. These people are probably part of some secret organization, high-powered Masons or something like that, or Eagles Club. I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna speculate. But I do know, when I saw Jay-Z do a music video where he tried to get all of the rappers that he fucked with in suits. I forgot the name of that video, but I'm gonna look at it again, and that let me know the industry was telling him then, you gonna have to pick you a successor. All of them young men, that's the famous rappers he had in the $1,000 suits. Y'all know the video I'm talking about. I was fascinated because I already know what that was. A lot of these dudes done entered into some kind of secret organization, and they still gang members. This is why the lower level Masons and lower level organizations have a lot of gang members now. Because a lot of the top millionaires have entered into the same cults, the same groups, and they still gang members. This is some wild shit. And then the women, they just be side pieces and whores. Some of them, you know, they tell them, hey, you know, you need to marry such and such, you know, have a couple of kids bound. It'll boost your career, you know, y'all both will be making millions. Them motherfuckers probably don't even sleep in the same bed.
Jay-Z came with the Hawaiian Sophie. It was LL and Big Daddy Kane. Ice-T and Ice Cube and certain niggas was still around doing their thing. Then when he was underground right before Reasonable Doubt, Jigga the J, Jigga the Z, do all that bullshit. It was Big and Pop. Then when he dropped and them get killed, it was Mason DMX with Harlem World, and DMX was getting ready to drop Get At Me Dog because his new ex was finna blow. Then he come again with Hard Knock Life in Volume 3 in the Dynasty. Eminem and Nelly then pretty much took it over, and you had Ja Rule peaking and Ludacris around that time. Then he really got with the Blueprint 1, but by then Nas done smacked his across the goddamn room a couple times. Eminem brought 50 Cent into the fold, which Jay-Z had to warn the whole Rockefeller about 50 Cent, and then retired because he knew was on his for real. Came back a couple years later, T.I. and Wayne was running everything, and Kanye was getting ready to peak with Graduation. Then over the years, Wayne brought Drake into the fold, then Kendrick come into the fold, then Cole came into the fold. Kanye was still murky. This HOV ain't never been that for real, man. Then on top of that, the only reason he able to get in most of them billionaire doors is because his wife is Beyonce. Just like only reason Triple H can get in certain doors is because his wife is Stephanie McMahon and his stepdaddy is Vince McMahon. Them dudes ain't never been.
Exactly. Never been that guy. Never. You know, you done married a wealthy, famous R&B singer. You probably done joined some high-powered organization, and everybody looking at you like you the king. Not me. I done lived through the history. I done seen it. I done seen bitches get out their body over Nelly. Jay-Z who? That's Nelly. Eminem? Please. Jay-Z who? Stop playing out here. You ain't never been that dude. But since you was that dude picked by the organization that you with, or the industry, put the torch on the table. Tell the industry, I'm not gonna pick my successor. I'm gonna let them fight over it. And whoever wins, y'all gonna have to get at them and pay them to be the next puppet. Because these dudes want money. Jay-Z might have did it, you know, just for the fame of it, to be the #1 rapper. But these dudes gonna want that bread. They're not gonna play. That's why they're telling him to pick the successor. Because if the industry go to somebody like Drake and tell him, listen, man, you know, Jay-Z's retiring and we need somebody to be the head spokesman of the rap and R&B. Pay me, nigga. I just wanted to get that off, you know, that picture right there, man. That picture right there is like, yes, I'm back on the stage. It's not gonna last long. It's not. You at the end of the rope, buddy. You older. I'm 50. You older than me. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. I hope y'all learned something from today, man. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.